Hey, lovely ladies. Let me just pop over here and make sure that we are good to go. And as always, if you can hear and see me, please let me know if you give me a thumbs up or some hearts to let me know that everything sounds good. Okay, everything looks good. Looks like we are on track here. All right, so this live stream is titled How I Went from $25 Tarot Readings to 5K Months. Hey, Freya. Hey, happy Wednesday. Good to see you. So Heather Woodward did a really, really good video last night in her group, Divine Wild Woman. If you're not in that group, you should go definitely join it. Hey, Melinda. Hey, Sylvia. Welcome. And she started touching on some of like the things that what was it called? It was called, This is Why Your Business is Gonna Fail. This is Why Your Business is Gonna Fail. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Melinda. Hey, ladies. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. And she was talking about, she went over some things like, if you're not investing in yourself or you're trying to download all of these like freebie things and you're not seeing any momentum because you only get like 10% of the information, right? So these freebies, you have to understand, this is a business, and these freebies that you get, yes, they really are free, but they're part of what is called a funnel. Ultimately, they are a fraction of the information of what the coach or strategist, whatever, knows. And they're basically just trying to show you in just a little tiny bit of information how they work and some of the things you can look forward to working with them and things like that. So what you have to understand is that all these freebies and all of these free courses and stuff out there is that it is very strategically set up in such a way where they're only giving you, as Heather said, just a fraction of the information with the intention of turning you into a client. Thank you. You like my pillow? I love it. I found it at Walmart. It was like $7. It's the unicorn emoji. I'm trying to find. I really want to find a crystal ball and some. I don't know. This might be like unrealistic, but I really want to find the little sparkle emojis. I think it would be awesome to have that. It's like branding 101, guys. Ladies, guys, and girls. That's branding 101. So thanks for loving my pillow. I found that. I was like, oh my god, I have to have this because I know my people would love it. And I'm the self-proclaimed unicorn, right? Professional unicorn. I'm weird. But thank you for enjoying my weird. Hey, Maria, good to see you. That would be awesome to find. I know, it would be so cool. I was like thinking, I'm kind of crafty. I might be able to make it if, I don't know. We'll see. Unicorn magical power. Yes, unicorn magical power activate. So this is a kind of like a video response to Heather's video last night. Like I said, if you haven't watched that, you want to watch that and then come back to this video, or you can just hang out for a little while and I'll kind of talk about some of the things she talked about. But this one is going to be titled How I Went from $25 Tarot Readings to 5K Months. And it's really pretty simple. And, I say that now, and you're probably like, Christina, it is not simple. Like, if it was simple, everybody would be doing it, right? And that's kind of the mindset I had, too. I thought it was really, really hard to do this. I thought everybody who said that they made thousands of dollars every month was full of shit. I thought it was all, I walked around for a really long time thinking it was just like some marketing ploy or that they're lying about it or something like that. And I always was like, I don't know if this is really real. I don't know. How do I get there? You know what I mean? And actually, it was really simple to get there. It only took 3 really important things. I'm going to talk about those three things today. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. It's not like there isn't like a book long of things that you have to learn and do and put yourself out there. And honestly, it's getting from $25 tarot readings to 5K months was not very glamorous. There was a lot of ugly crying involved. There was a lot of binge eating, a lot of tubs of ice cream eaten. There was a lot of fights with my husband. There were a lot of days where I was like, I can't do this. I'm working, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I'm not seeing any type of return on return on investment with this. So I don't want to kid you and say that it's going to be easy or stress-free or that it's just magically going to happen for you. It's not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time commitment, especially if you want to do this right. If you really want to start thinking in terms of wealth creation and going not just from, getting your clients for that day, but thinking in terms of getting these long-term lifetime clients that are going to keep buying things from you. They're going to keep buying your workshops. They're going to buy your courses. They're inevitably, hopefully, going to buy your high-end product, whatever that is, whatever you sell. Whether it's like a coaching package or a membership site or, whatever it is, your end game. So one of the first things I can tell you is that if you don't ask for it, you certainly will not get it. The thing that I struggled with the most is, in the beginning, was coming up with some way to actually make $5,000, right? Because I mathed it all out. I was like, okay, so let me just get my calculator out real quick. So to make $5,000 a month, let's just think about this for a second in math terms. So $5,000 divided by $25 is 200 readings. I would have to do 200 readings in a month to make $5,000. Okay, so I work 5 days a week, and there's 4 weeks in a month, so that's 20. I would have to do 10 readings for $25 per day to make $5,000 a month. I don't want to do that. Do you want to do that? I sure don't. So the biggest problem in the beginning was I didn't have any higher end offers to make meeting that goal actually feasible. So what did I do? I went from $25 readings, and trust me, it took me a little while before I could even charge $25. When I first started, I was charging $1 for a yes or no question, and I was charging $5 for a 3-card spread. So, it took me a good 3 years before I could actually work up the courage to get to $25. And a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my God, if I could even just sell 1 or 2 readings a day at $25, then you'd be good, right? But the thing is, you're probably not ready to make $5,000 a month. If you're satisfied with only scheduling like just a couple people per day, or you're okay with $25 for a reading, chances are you're probably not ready for 5K. You're probably ready for 1K. So, you don't want to set your goals too high in the beginning. You want to be really realistic about it. Now, is there such thing as overnight success? Yeah, some people get it. And it really comes down to your money mindset. It comes down to how bad you want it, how much you're willing to work for it, how confident you are selling your services, and how you value yourself, right? These are all mindset things. If you don't have the mindset, then you definitely don't have the strategy, because if you don't have the mindset, you're not going to ask for the sale. You're not going to have any type of product to even put into a strategy. You're not going to even have anything to create into a funnel, right? So 5K for you might not be something that you even consider until next year. Maybe 1K per month is something that feels safer. It feels more okay. It feels more in alignment with your own business goals, right? So the very first thing I did was, whether you want to make 1K or you want to make 5K or you want to make 100K or you want to make $1 million a month, you have to learn how to strategically price your services in such a way that it's even possible. You don't want to work yourself to the bone. I don't want to do 200 tarot readings in a month. I don't want to do 10 readings per day to make $5,000. Are you kidding me? I would die. I would what would be the point of that, right? If you want to make money, there's easier ways to make money. Get into real estate. Get into MLMs. Get into something else where it's all about the money. But you're probably not like that. You're probably like me. You actually want to enjoy what you're doing, right? You want it to be enjoyable. You want it to be something that you're good at. You want to help people. And so how can you meet those financial goals while also still staying in integrity to what it is that you really want to do? And the way you do that is you raise your prices. That might scare the shit out of you. It might be something that's totally terrifying. You might be sitting there wondering, If I can't sell a tarot reading for $10, how am I going to sell a tarot reading for $97? Okay, the wisdom that I want to impart on you regarding raising your prices is that it's never about the price. I've talked about this before. I've done a long post on this. It is never about how much you're selling something for. Price is something that is totally subjective to you. $500 may be nothing to you. $1,000 may be nothing to someone else. $5 might be everything that you have in your bank account right now. So when it comes down to price, it's never about the price of your services. It's never about the price of what you're selling. Yes, there are market demands, there are market trends, there are, you know, analytics and things like that, especially when it comes to Etsy. Etsy, for example, the minimum, or not the minimum, but the average median price for a tarot reading on Etsy is around 25, or excuse me, it's even less than that. It's $15. If you go to etsyrank.com and you type in tarot reading, most of the listings you're going to find are for $15. So yes, there is a such thing as like, you know, platform limitations. There is a such thing as the market demands and things like that. The thing about Etsy, the reason why Etsy is $15 average price for a tarot reading is because there's a billion tarot readers on Etsy. There's a lot of them. And so on Etsy, it's almost more strategic to have a higher price, because then people are going to, the other people that don't have any type of education on Etsy, the people that don't have any sort of strategy or have any type of business experience whatsoever, don't take business courses, don't work on their money mindset, they're going to go and they're going to price all of their readings around $15, right? Because if they're smart enough to get access to those analytics, that's probably where they're going to put their pricing at. What I teach is to actually, I teach this in the first time I really started talking about this was in the Make Tarot Your Business Quick Start Guide. If you don't have that, it's totally free. You can get it. I'll drop the link here in the comment thing, but it's on day 2, I think, where I start talking about how, day 3, it's one of those days. But I start talking about how to actually tier your pricing. So you don't want to have just, you know, one thing that you sell at one price. You actually want to have a tiered pricing system. And so what this does is it makes your weekly, daily, monthly income goals a lot more feasible. Day 3, thank you, Freya. So my pricing system right now, I'll tell you where I'm at right now. And then it may, actually, I just got a light bulb in my head, because I'm going to have to think about this and see how this actually works out. But my half an hour pricing, I don't even do email readings anymore. Like, I'm done with it. Like, I'm past that point. But when I was doing them, I was doing email readings, 3-card spreads for about $25-ish or so. I don't do that. I just do phone readings now, because if I have to sit there, because I'm the type of person, I'll sit there and, you know, this, okay, we'll get to this too, but this suited me back in the day, because, you know, the reality is, the real truth of it is, I was scared to put myself out there. So I would have rather stayed in my little hidey hole in the dark, not faced anybody, and spend 3 hours on an email reading, typing it all up, taking a picture, stylizing my altar, things like that, for $25 and working for basically minimum wage, because it was safer for me to do that than to get on a live stream and make $500 off a live stream. You know what I mean? It was safer for me to do that because I had all of these limiting beliefs about being seen, being visible. I'm a big girl, so it was like, you know, I have to lose some weight? I have to, you know, I had all these stipulations, all of these things that I had to be before I just decided to show up. And that's one of the major things too. So anyways, that's a tangent. Let me get back on track here. So my pricing tier right now to make $5K a month is, I have my half an hour readings are $55. My 1 hour readings are $97. Some of my very basic coaching sessions they start at $97 for an hour. Some of my specialty coaching sessions, like if you want to, I have one for your signature speech. I have one for building your funnel. They're 90-minute sessions. Those start at $197. I have my Make Tarot Your Business course, which is $297. I have a 3-month, 90-day, 6-session package for $497. Okay. So you want to, even if you don't think right away that you're going to actually like sell these higher end packages, or if it like freaks you out, you know, just thinking about getting $500 in one sale from one person, it's okay, but you need to have these things available and you need to talk about them, because if you're not talking about them, if you're not putting them out there, if you're not letting people know that it's even available, they're just going to assume that they're just going to assume that, you know, all you want from them is a $25 email reading. Freya says, I love stream, but folks would rather text. No, wrong. Video is king. Live stream, if you look on Facebook right now, just do this as an experiment for yourself, okay? Just look at your timeline. For every post, count how many videos there are. Count all the video ads, count all of the live streams, count all of the GIFs, all of the animated video visual things. Just try it. It's an experiment. Go through your timeline, just, you know, quickly, and count how we don't realize how much video is really out there. And some people would rather text, that's fine. Do your sales calls through Messenger. You don't have to hop on a phone. You don't have to actually do like a video call to actually sell anything. That's one of the biggest misconceptions really out there, is that you really don't have to. You can do it all through text. I tend to attract introverted people, and so I put myself out there. It's all about how you put yourself out there. I'm going to talk about this too. But how you put yourself out there is how you're going to attract certain types of clients. So if you're someone who's introverted, you don't want to do a lot of phone calls, put out there that you're introverted. This is for the introverts, right? So talk about how, you know, social things are like, you know, not a fun thing for you. You're going to, over time, attract people that feel the same way, right? So if you are in a position where you are in direct conflict with the way that you think you have to sell, it's because you are not cultivating your own type of selling method yourself. Does that make sense? All right, so you need to raise your prices, and you need to tier, and you need to also talk about your higher end packages. Even if you think nobody's really going to buy them, you still need to talk about them anyways, because here's the thing with the confidence. The confidence will come. You're not going to be confident until you make a couple sales. It's kind of like the vicious cycle like that. Like, until you actually make a couple higher end sales, you're just not going to feel confident about it. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to suck. You're going to feel like you want to vomit. You're going to try to run away. You're going to try to make every excuse in the book to not actually go through with it. And here's the thing, is that once you actually get past those really uncomfortable feelings for a little while, and you just put yourself in that uncomfortable feeling, you face the fear. I'm always about going towards the fear. I wasn't always like that. I used to be I used to have a lot of avoidance behavior, not wanting to be in conflict, that sort of thing, not wanting to be in situations that were uncomfortable. But once I learned that, once I started putting myself intentionally in those positions, and I started making money off of it, maybe it wasn't the best sales call, but they still bought something, whether it was, you know, my higher end package, or it was a workshop or something like that. Because it's really, sales in general, sacred sales, is really interesting because it's so multifaceted. There's so many variables that go into it. You have the variable of how you're feeling that day, how confident you're feeling, and then there's this whole other variable that you cannot control, and that's your client's mindset, what your client values, how they're feeling that day. So it's almost, for a sales call to like really feel comfortable, right? You either have to know the person for a long time, which means you have to cultivate that relationship for a really long time, or the stars have to align and you both have to be having like a really awesome day, right? So sales calls, typically, making sales, it's typically not a comfortable experience. It's oftentimes like really uncomfortable. It's really awkward. You might be like me and I start sweating. I start sweating and I start feeling nauseous every single time I get on a sales call. Maybe one day I won't feel that way, but you know, I don't let it stop me from making money. And as soon as I learned that every single time I put myself into these fear-based situations, into these really uncomfortable situations, it's an opportunity to make a whole bunch more money than I would have if I had just waited for someone to notice me, waited for someone to take interest in me, because that's really not how you run businesses, especially not on social platforms. You really can't do it. you're not a convenience store. You're not a big box store. You can't just set up shop and just hope and pray that people come to you and do magic and things like that, which are all very complimentary. You can do that and you can work the woo, but the woo doesn't work unless you're actually taking action, unless you're actually doing something about it. Okay, so here's what I actually wanted to talk about is your marketing strategy basically needs to be these three things. So number one, it needs to showcase how unique you are, right? You need to stand out. Look at, just as an educational video right now, look at me. Just look at my surroundings. Look how I'm doing this. Open your eyes. Pay attention. I have my branding colors, which is the purple. I'm usually typically always in black, purple, or pink. I have my unicorn, right? I have the purple behind me. I have a background that I use all the time. Melinda says, still loving your awesome feather earrings. These are my branding earrings. Every time I do just about 99.9% I do a Facebook Live, I have my earrings on, I have my pink lipstick on, I have some type of crystal around my neck. I have these consistent things. This is called branding. This is branding 101. You have to stand out. Even if you think you're the most boring person in the world, you're going to have to do something to make yourself stand out, because the truth is that the whole at-home entrepreneur thing, it's catching on. It is growing. It is one of the fastest growing industries. It's growing exponentially. I always talk about there not really being something as competition. There really isn't when you are unique of yourself. You have to find ways to stand out. You have to find ways to get noticed. I tend to do lots of glitter and unicorns and crystals and purple hair and things like that. That is how I stand out. That is my magic. That's my personality, right? Sylvia says, I love this point, right? So even if you think you're the most boring person in the world, get yourself a stupid hat, a silly hat. Get yourself something that is going to draw attention to you. Dye your hair fire engine red. It can be something as simple as just one thing, but you need your signature something. You need that signature thing that people automatically recognize. It's called brand recognition, if you want the technical term to research it. Brand recognition. It has to be something totally unique to you. It's almost like when you're dating, in a way. You have to want people to be interested in you, right? You have to romance people a little bit. You have to have a little bit of mystery. You have to have a little bit of magic about you. There has to be something about you that for me, what it comes down, I'll just tell you, what it comes down for me is I want to make running businesses and making money, I want that to be easy and fun. So how does that manifest for me? It manifests in unicorns. It manifests in, I do a lot of inner child work. It manifests in fairies, all of these things behind me that are archetypes, symbols of fun. So whatever your bottom line is, whatever your mission is, find your symbols and incorporate that into your branding message. And that's how you're going to stand out. That's how you're going to get people's attention. That's how you're going to get people interested in you. So it needs to be, you can also hop on trends. Trends are really, really, really cool. Like unicorns are so trendy right now. I've always been a unicorn person. My vintage unicorn collection, I've been collecting unicorns for 30 years. So unicorns have always been kind of in trend for me. But unicorns in general are very trendy right now. Magic is really trendy. Witchy stuff, very trendy. Crystals, incense. There is this whole feminist movement going on right now where all of these things that were once shunned or seen as, the religions kind of see it as like the work of the devil or satanic and things like that, or otherwise should not be embraced or encouraged, right? We're seeing this total flip in our culture now where these very sacred symbols are aligning up with this whole feminist movement of empowered women, empowered witches, witchy bitches that are just like, they're taking no shit anymore, and it's a really awesome thing. So find whatever trendy thing, that's another thing, find whatever trending thing that you enjoy that you can incorporate into your branding somehow, and that's also going to gain attention. Sylvia says, easy and pleasurable for me too. Absolutely. It has to be pleasurable, because otherwise, why even do it? What's the point? Might as well just go stand behind the counter and ring people up all day. You know what I mean? Go work at the mall or do something else. If you want to have fun, you run your own business. So harness the power of trends, showcase how unique you are, stand out, don't be afraid to be weird, embrace your weird, be weird, be as weird as possible, because weird is really in right now. Weird is the new cool. Have you seen that? It's like, it's almost kind of like the whole new hipster movement where they've got like the geeky glasses. It's like geeky or nerdy is like in now. Weird and witchy and unconventional, that is all super in right now. Super trendy. Get on that train. Take advantage of it. The second thing is that your marketing strategy needs to be in alignment with your own personality. Okay? So, like I said earlier, I kind of touched on this. If you are someone that hates a certain style of selling, then don't try to force it. You're welcome, Melinda. She says, thank you so much, Sister Christina. Fairy dust blessings. Yes. So if you, for example, if, you hate cold calls or you hate Facebook Lives or something like that, and it's just a completely painful experience for you, find something else then. You want to make sure that you are not like avoiding something because you're scared of it. There's a big difference between being scared of something and like genuine dislike of something. You'll know what you dislike. I personally dislike cold calls. You can't get me to do it. I would rather go back to a day job than spend my day doing cold calls. For me personally, I liked more indirect marketing, which is like Facebook Live, recorded videos, podcasting, things like that, where I'm not like having a one-on-one sales conversation with someone, but I'm talking to a group of people. And I really found that when I worked on a random, that's where I really found that I really had a gift or a passion or an interest, and I saw that I could actually sell without doing cold calls. And so you have to kind of explore different types of marketing strategies. And it's like I see this mistake all the time. It has to be in alignment with your own personality. So you don't want to, for example, like talk up all this big game that you're like, you do business this one way, and then when you actually get on the phone with someone or you actually get to a point where you actually need to make a sale and you totally bomb it, right? That's happened to me a lot of times because I was trying to force something that I just genuinely didn't like. I still did the cold calls because I had to figure out if it was a fear or if it was something that I just didn't really like, right? So don't avoid things. Just try them out. Just see how it works. And if you make a sale from it, then maybe you really don't hate it, right? But if you do it 20 or 30 times and you don't make a sale, maybe it's a real thing that you don't like to do. So, and you want to advertise yourself accurately. You don't want to like if you are an introvert like I am, you don't want to advertise yourself as this hardcore extrovert. Like you wouldn't want to take all these Instagram photos of you out in public and doing all of these wild, crazy things with all these people and going to parties and stuff. And then secretly you're like an introvert and you're just advertising as an extrovert because that's what you think people want. And the thing is that you can just be genuine to who you are and like what you do and like how you sell. And all you have to do at that point, if you like who you are, you like what you sell, and you like how you sell, then all you have to do is just show up and take action. Your business literally becomes something that you run on autopilot. You never have to question like what you're going to do that day. You never have to like put yourself into these situations that you hate or that you would rather like go back to a day job to do. So make sure you're being honest with yourself. Honesty is definitely key. The truth is that you can make money any way that you want. There's people, I've said this before, it's hilarious. There's people that sell poop. There's people that sell envelopes full of glitter and send them to your enemies. There's people who sell like slime and stuff on Etsy and that are making hundreds, thousands of dollars off of this. You can make money selling anything. You can make money doing anything. What people buy, and I say this all the time, what people buy is your joy. What they buy is your confidence. What they buy is, in essence, you, right? Rachel says, gonna have to watch this later. Too many calls coming in from work today for me to keep this unmuted. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the replay will be up. Definitely catch it. Thanks for staying as long as you did. So you can sell your readings, you can sell your services, you can sell your courses, your packages. You can sell this in many different ways. There's literally like a million marketing strategies out there. Not all marketing strategies are created equal. Some of them are better than others. Some of them, it doesn't matter how good they are. They're never going to work for you because you don't work that way. Does that make sense with everybody? So you have to, it's really, really difficult. Freya says, tell me more about selling glitter. Yeah. Nancy says slime. Yeah, look it up. People sell envelopes full of glitter and they send it to your enemies, and it's awesome. It is so passive aggressive, something that I would totally do. That is like me times 1,000. That's how passive aggressive I am, but also like magical and sparkly at the same time. So you have to learn some marketing strategies. Yes, you have to invest in yourself. You have to get either a coach or get into a group program, something like that, where you are working with someone who has some of these methods that they use that you like. And that's what it comes down to. Don't buy a program, don't buy a course because you think that it's going to make you money because that's the only way to make money. That's not really how it works. The courses and the programs and the people you work with are the people. The reason why you want to buy from those people, or the reason why you should buy from those people, is because you like how they run their business and you want to run your business like them. Does that make sense? So don't buy because they're promising you 10K. Don't buy because they're promising you, $5,000 in 10 days. That is not a reason to buy. You're going to fail every single time if you do that. You're setting yourself up for failure. Buy into people, buy into programs, invest in coaches that run their business very similar to how you want to run your business, because then you're going to actually get strategies that are in alignment with your personality. There's also this too. Buy programs with people that are, maybe you're not there yet, but you know that they are doing something that you want to do. If you're not comfortable with live streams, buy into someone's program who does live streams all the time. And you will learn how to do live streams, and you will learn to overcome that. If it's something that you genuinely want to do, and someone else is modeling that, that is a very good reason to invest in their program or to buy their course, right? It's not about the, guaranteeing you any type of money or selling you the one formula, that type of stuff. Vanessa, you are so welcome. Afraid, it is funny. It is funny. It's hilarious. Okay, the last thing, the third thing I want to tell you is it needs to be consistent. Is this really any surprise? No, it's not. It needs to be consistent. Okay, so here's the real deal. It takes 90 days to learn a new skill, to learn any type of marketing theory or strategy, to actually set it up, to get the tweaks out of it, and to actually see a real impact from that. So businesses take time. It takes time to set up. I've been working on this group for a year. I've been working on my group program, or not my group program. It might turn into a group program. That's kind of a Freudian slip right there. But surprise. But my Make Tarot Your Business course, my masterclass, is something I've been working on for 3 years, and I've had to learn. I've gone through many different marketing strategies to figure out what works, but the thing that I can tell you is that pretty much all marketing strategies work. Not all marketing strategies are created equal. There are strategies that you can use to see a bigger impact, right? But what really truly matters at the end of the day is that you're sticking with it and you're tweaking it as needed. And a lot of marketing strategies, you could have the perfect formula. Someone can give you their entire, business formula about how they make a whole bunch of money and how they get all their clients. But here's the thing, is that it's so individual. There's so many variables. What you sell might not particularly work exactly for that formula, and You might have some hidden resistances. There might be some ways that you're sabotaging yourself. So it's not a formula is good, but a formula is not what's going to make you money. What's going to make you money is if you stop jumping around from different types of strategies, stop jumping around from marketing strategy to marketing strategy every few weeks. I see this all the time. Marketing strategies, for them to be effective, they need to be a rinse and repeat system. And once you find that small strategy, that small tweak that you need to make your strategy work, then all you have to literally do is rinse and repeat it. It's really that simple. It just takes time before you actually, get a marketing strategy that really fits your personality, that fits how you want to make sales, and that also is in alignment with what you're selling too. Because you can't sell a $25 tarot reading the same way that you can sell a $500 coaching package, right? It's a little bit different. The way you talk to people is different. Just to give you an example, a $25 tarot reading is not really seen as a luxury thing. It's really seen as a convenience thing. So some triggers that might sell your $25 tarot reading is a sense of urgency, as in a quick turnaround, 24-hour turnaround, that sort of thing. So there's different ways to sell lower price items than to sell the higher end things. Now for a $500 program or something you're trying to sell, you really want to look at that as like, I've got a piece of hair stuck in my face. I don't know where it is, but it's bothering me. But the $500 thing, you want to add like bonuses, right? You want to add things that you can upsell to it. You want to add limited edition things that they get for jumping on the $500 thing right then and there. So it's different. Not all strategies, not all types of selling strategies are going to work for every single product. There is a difference in the price and how you tier it. So, you have to do the same strategy day in and day out, and you have to tweak it ever so slightly when necessary when you don't see those results. And you have to keep a log of that, and you have to, sometimes it's just a lot of research, right? It's just an experimentation. The truth is nobody really knows what they're doing. We're all just kind of winging it here. We're all just kind of doing our best. We have a kind of an idea of how we're going to make this money, and we have kind of an idea of our strategy and our funnels and things like that. But it's just different for every single product. So the way you sold one product might not be the way that you sell another product. Does that make sense? Or am I just rambling here? Maybe this doesn't make sense to anybody. Freya says, I can't believe I've known you that long. It's been a while. It's been a while. I've been around for a little while. So I guess the thing what I want to say is that you have to keep at it. You have to keep at it, because there's no such thing as it's not an infomercial. It's not a set it and forget it type of thing. It doesn't have an automatic shut off, right? It's something that you have to keep at it every single day, and that's what I talk about with 97% of people who want to start a business fail, because they don't have what it takes. Everybody here in this group, I believe, has what it takes, because when you got into this group, you had to fill out the form. Remember, if you've been in here since last year, you didn't have to fill out the form. But if you've been in here recently, like within the last year, you had to fill out the form. I interview every single person that comes into here. You have to tell me what you're selling and how you help people and that sort of thing. So you have to take you have to show some sort of effort, or else you can't even get into this group, because in this group, we are the 3%. There's a reason why there's only 400 people in here and not, 60,000 like all the other business groups out there. It's because in this group, we are the doers. We actually get shit done. We're not just the wannabes. We're not the what do they call it? Wannapreneur or something like that, where it's like people who want to start a business, but they don't actually do anything to ever do it. It always just stays like a dream for them. You know what I mean? No problem, Kai. I hope your doctor appointment's decent, and it's not a nightmare. So there's no such thing as set it and forget it. You have to keep tuning your business. It's like a well-oiled machine, right? It takes maintenance. You can't just set something up and just expect it to work forever. You have to continually reevaluate, right? Do maintenance, show up, these sort of things. And as business owners, the cool thing is that you get the freedom to choose, right? So you get it's not to say that you have to show up every single day, but you still have to show up sometimes if you feel like it or not, right? So you get the choice as a business owner. You can take days off. You can work on your own schedule. If you're not feeling good, okay, go lay down for a nap and maybe you work a couple hours later that night. So the biggest benefit is that you have complete flexibility over your schedule in your life. That is like the biggest benefit for me personally, is that I am the queen of my life. I don't have to answer to anybody. I haven't set an alarm in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, if I get up and I'm like, I don't feel like it right now, I'll go back to bed or something like that, and I'll come back later, you know? So for me, that's the biggest benefit. Find your biggest benefit and figure out what that is for you and have that be your motivator. So if you think for 1 second that you're going to be able to make 5K or 10K a month and you only work like 3 hours a week or something like that, it's just not going to happen for you. You're going to be disappointed. Now, if you hustle hard and you work hard and you build your funnels and you really work on your money mindset and you create your offers and you get your marketing strategy down and you invest in your coaches and you have some level of accountability, you have someone, you know, like kicking your ass into gear when you don't feel like it, in 5 years maybe you'll be able to work 3 hours a week and make $100,000 to, I don't know, $250,000 a year, maybe. But you got to work hard right now. You got to hustle right now. You got to build it right now. You got to work on your foundation, right? So it's not going to happen right away. There's a lot of work involved, and that's why I'm like, you know, you guys, we're the 3%. We're the 3% because we're the ones that are actually doing the actions day in and day out and showing up and figuring out how we can tweak and how we can do better and things like that. Rachel says, where would you recommend doing call phone readings, trying to get on top of making money in new ways, which would be by phone, but I have nowhere to actually go in mind? Zodiac Psychics, I believe. They pay out monthly, and you can do phone readings with them. I believe that they're more like voice over protocol, so I think that they have like, I think you connect to voice chat. I haven't worked on Zodiac Psychics for a little while now. I was on Zodiac Psychics, but like last year, so it's been a little while. There's some other ladies in the group would know. You can also just start advertising your own phone readings. You can just put together an offer and do some copywriting and create a long post and post around and start making connections with people. The thing is that you can't, how do I say this? I know a little bit about your life, Rachel, because I know that you have some things that you're trying to balance, and I know you have, you know, some issues with your environment that you're in right now, and so right now it's very difficult for you to spend a lot of time on your individual marketing, right? Like actually building your own business. Do you have phone readings set up in your Etsy store? I would say do Zodiac Psychics, put some phone readings up in your Etsy store, create some offers, and post them on Facebook. I hope that helps you. There is a specific way to do your long post. That's the thing, is there is a specific way that you need to, you can't just say, hey, buy my stuff, and I have this offer, right? It goes a little bit further than that. You have to be solution oriented. So instead of advertising that you're selling she says one person asked and then wanted it for free. Block. Definitely block that person, or, you know, mute that conversation. What's really going to help you sell your phone readings is you're going to have to be solution oriented, which means that you're going to have to think of some really unique offers that you're going to offer on phone. So I know that you do a lot of like life decisions, and I know that you are really about empowerment. So the thing with you, Rachel, is that you're to be able to really sell these at these higher prices and really get people on the phone that actually value what you have to say is this. I don't know how you feel about this, but you might have to move away from tarot reading, or just identifying yourself as a tarot reader, or selling just tarot readings. There's nothing wrong with selling just tarot readings, but the problem is that when it comes to getting people on the phone and charging these higher end prices, you're going to have to advertise more as a life coach. And that's going to provide the distinction between, most people don't really value tarot readings, right? Most people that get tarot readings are not necessarily people that want to spend a lot of money on them, and they sort of think about them as more for fortune telling or entertainment purposes only, right? Now, if you do want to step into the life coach arena, which I think is a really good fit for you personally, I get the sense that you're going to have to market more as a life coach and selling them as empowerment sessions and not tarot readings. Does that make sense? Because the thing is with the hotlines is the hotlines are so popular that people already know to call them to get their readings. So if you want to market outside of the hotlines, you're going to have to step it up a notch. You're going to have to up-level your service. If you want to start making $97 an hour like I do for a phone reading, market it as a life coaching session. Start looking into how you can turn some of your offers that you already do, how you can incorporate tarot into them, but as a life coaching session. I do what's called tarot life coaching. So what I do, I'll just explain my process very briefly here, just for a second, because we're already kind of over time here. Rachel says, so as a way for advertising that I can do right now with no internet except for during the day, would doing videos on the Facebook page help? I've been expanding to pendulum and paw readings, even shufflemancy, but no biters there as well. I've been doing Reiki and chakra energy work as well to expand, but it's mostly study right now. I'd love to help more people as a life coach, but I'm not sure how to advertise and market as a person to help to get your life together. Okay, I got you. I so got you, Rachel. There's a limiting belief there that you have to be perfect to be a life coach. This is a big misconception. There is an ethical debate about it, whether, you have to be some perfect person to be able to be a life coach. But think about it. What is a life coach? A life coach is someone that motivates you to get your life together, right? They're there to listen to you. They're there to work through problems. Since you are magically inclined, you can use oracle cards, you can use tarot cards, you can use any other type of divination system. What you can do is a life coach / tarot reading hybrid. And so if your limiting belief is that you in yourself right now are not enough or not qualified to be a life coach, I want you to shift your perspective, shift your frame of reference to allowing the tarot cards to be that authority. So what you do in that case is, if you are unable to feel comfortable with giving someone life advice from your own from your own experience, pull your cards out and pull some cards out and ask the cards, okay, what can this person do? It's the interesting thing is, Rachel, is it's not that much different from what you're already doing. Because the thing is that you are so smart, you already are a life coach. You just don't know it. The people that are just tarot readers are often usually fortune-telling based. They deal with the low-hanging fruit type of clients, the prediction type of clients, as we were talking about the yes or no type of clients. I don't think you realize how smart you are. I don't think you realize how talented you really are. So it's really, I know it sounds scary, because you're charging a higher price and you're representing yourself as something that you haven't represented yourself as before. But the truth is, it's really not that different from what you're already doing. You're just advertising it in a different way, and you're appealing to a different market. Ava says, people get bent out of shape though if you life coach without certification. Anyways, who has ever told you that? Okay, I've been life coaching since 2012. I've been spiritual coaching since 2012. I can tell you that not one single person has ever asked me about a certification. Not one person has ever asked me if I'm qualified. So I don't know who is telling you that. I don't know where you're getting that information from. I don't know if it's just one crappy person that, okay, let me backtrack, okay? Because that was wrong of me to say. It's not one crappy person, it's just one person that values something, that has a different value system, okay? So I take that back, that was wrong of me to say. One person that has a different value system than you, that values something that maybe you don't necessarily value. Oh, Well, Ava says, I had a woman rip me a new ass on a group about how dare I life coach without certification. Okay, that's a technique to scare you because you're competition. If other life coaches are dogging you for that, then they're really just trying to scare you. They're just trying to strike the fear into you, and they're trying to get you out of their competition zone. That's what it comes down to. Thank you, Lorene. I so appreciate that. Great advice, Christina. Magically inclined. Yeah. You should charge more for that. There are people who are just tarot readers. There are people who are just life coaches. If you are magically inclined and a life coach, charge double. Those are two very different skill sets. Paula says, certified and qualified can be very different. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, not to start like some sort of ethical debate or anything like that, but what do you really need to be qualified to be a life coach? You need to be alive, right? A life coach. Not a get your shit together coach, or, some other. If you want to specialize in certain areas, then sure, maybe you should be qualified. But to be a general life coach, you're alive. So that's your qualification. Rachel says, so instead of come and get a reading so I can help you create more happiness for yourself. Right, okay, so the problem is come get a reading so I can help you create more happiness for yourself. That is too generic. It's too general. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't help anybody. What is happiness? Happiness is such a subjective thing that what makes me happy might not make you happy. So what is happiness? It's too general. And happiness is one of those things where it's like, everybody wants to be happy, but nobody really believes in happiness, right? Unless they create it themselves, unless they find they're happy. And so it's just too general. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't motivate anybody to do anything. I'm a professional, I understand what you're going through, and I can help you find the weak points in your life with tarot as a guide because I'm doing it every day and my life is improving. Still too general. You need to be more specific. It needs to be solution oriented. So if you were to coach people, I'm just using a random example. This may not be in alignment with what you actually want to do. So just use this as kind of like an example. If you wanted to say, I know you have a child, so if you wanted to say a life coaching session on how to raise a magical child or a sensitive child, and you can use tarot cards to read the child's cards, or read the cards based on how the mother or the father could help their child, right? It needs to be more specific because it's just what you're putting out there is good, but it's not converting anybody. It's not saying anything. Does that make sense? Your weak points in your life. Which one? I got a long list. Which one are we working on? And at that point as a consumer, I'm like, well, crap, I've got like 100 of those. So okay, now I'm overwhelmed, and now I've talked myself out of the sale. But if you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm a mom. I'm not a mom, but the customer's perspective. Oh, okay, well, I am a mom. Yes, my child does seem to have these sensitive qualities. Yes, I want to know how to be a better parent. Yeah, sure, that sounds like a good idea. I would pay $100 for that. Right? So it needs to be more specific. Awesome. It does make sense. Great. Okay. Oh, you do offer a reading for that. Interesting. You said, so parental coaching, which I do offer a reading for, but if I combine palm reading, magical knowledge, energy work, that's too much. If you want to do palm reading, magical knowledge, and energy work, that needs to turn into like a 3-month coaching package. It's too much for one session. I would do like a life coaching session about how to, parent sensitive children with a tarot reading. Done. End of session. Then you could also have different sessions for what does your palm say about your parental style. Too much stuff, yeah, because here's the thing. It's not about the price. It's about information overload. No, you're fine, Rachel. These are all great questions. I'm sure the other people who are watching right now have the same exact questions as you, or are going to come into the same sort of thing. You know what I mean? You're not hogging the time at all. So, we this here's the limiting belief with that. I can identify that with you really quickly. Is that you don't believe what you know and what you have is enough, so you are overcompensating and you're just throwing a whole bunch of stuff on there to make it seem valuable, hoping that someone will recognize the immense quantity over quality, right? And it's just a reaction to your belief that what you know and who you are and how you can help people is not enough as is. So work on that. You need to work on that. You need to work on the overcompensating. It's hard. It's hard. I know it is, because when you're not making consistent sales, you're just literally just trying to throw everything at the wall, hoping something sticks and hoping something, piques interest in someone. But what I have learned personally, I sell the most consistently when my offers are very clear cut and they're very simple. Simple is oftentimes best, because you have to think, you have all of this amazing knowledge in your head. You have years and years and years of study. The people that you're working with have probably never heard of a fraction of what you're trying to help them with. Okay, so you have to kind of dumb it down a little bit. You have to pull it back. So yeah, you have all of this amazing information. You're extremely educated. You're extremely knowledgeable, but your client is not, and you have to keep that in mind. Rachel says, I definitely will. I probably need to do some work on separating the knowledge into sessions so that it's not overwhelming. Yeah, like a palmistry reading, magical knowledge, energy work, that could easily be a 3-month to 6-month coaching package. Yep. Exactly, same idea. Does anybody have any questions before we end our live stream for today? Now is your chance to get them in. I want to answer your questions. I want to be here. I want to help you. If you have any questions, any comments, anything that you want to say, now's the time to get it in. I hope you've gotten something from this. I hope it's inspired you. I hope you can recognize some of these things that you see all these other people talking about in yourself. And I hope that we can do some course correction here, because I know everybody in this group is so smart. I know you're all so brilliant. I know you have what it takes. And it just takes a little bit of peeling back those layers one by one and getting to the realness of it and just finding your flow. And once you find your flow, it's so easy. It's so easy. You start making, who thought I could make $5,000 in a month? Like, I don't know who I am sometimes. I'm like, sometimes I think, is this my life? And sometimes I think, I'm going to go towards 10, and then I'm going to go towards 20, and I'm going to make $1 million by the time I'm 40. So it's just interesting how it happens. I've found for myself, I'm never satisfied. Like, I've always got to go to that next level, and it's fun. It's so much fun. It's worth it. Every tear that you ever cried, every sleepless night, every cussing session you've ever had, every fight with your husband or your wife or your significant other, it's all worth it once you actually peel back all of this crap that you've indoctrinated into through culture and your parents and your beliefs and things like that. Once you peel all that stuff back and you are just this pile of moldable clay that you can make into your own image, it's really awesome. It's totally worth it. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the Facebook group.